welcome back to my channel. It's Ukay Ukay Transformation again. In today's video, I'm going to share with you how I transformed this velvet sweater into Ruffle hem bodycon dress. The fabric is very stretchy, so it is really perfect for a bodycon type of dress. The first step is removing the sleeves. I cut it properly and save it for later. Next is I get my favorite bit of dress, which is also a stretchy type of material. But if you don't have one, just use any of your favorite dress, just make sure it has a good fit on you. Then I copied the sidelines of the red dress to the sweater, using a tailor's chalk. Then after that, I added half-inch allowance to the first line that I draw. Then what I did next is I put pins in the first line that I made to hold it in place. Then after that, I cut it along the seam allowance. I just follow the seam allowance that I drew a while ago. And then, after cutting, I sew the side seams. This should be the look after sewing. The next step is hemming the front and back neckline by folding it 2 times and sew it after. Moving on to the next step is by attaching the sleeves to the shoulder line. Make sure to match the seam lines together. Use pins to hold them in place and sew it after. Sew along the pins and repeat it to the other sleeves. After sewing, the result must be something like this. The next step is creating a casing in the shoulder line. The way I create the casing is that I fold the raw edges to the wrong side once, of about half an inch. Just make sure that the elastic will fit through it. Use pins to hold it in place and sew along the pins with a straight stitch after. And the result must be something like this. Next is inserting the elastic to the casing. I pin first one end of the elastic to the fabric and use safety pin to the other ends of the elastic to pass through the casing. I call this a safety pin method. The size of the elastic must be from the shoulder to the upper bust. After reaching the end of the casing, I use pins to hold the elastic and sew it both ends. Just repeat it after to the other shoulder line. Then moving on, I cut the sleeves short because I'm going to use this for the ruffle hem. After that, I just copy the cutout piece to the other sleeves. The next step is hemming the raw edge of the sleeves. Use pins to hold it and sew along the pins. Then just repeat it to the other sleeves. Then you should have something like this. The next step is putting an elastic to the sleeves to fit it in my arms. What I did is that I measure half an inch to the wrong side of it, starting from the edge of the sleeves. I used a ruler to draw a guidelines for the elastic. I used a skinny elastic and the measurement of this must be around your arms. I am stretching the elastic while I'm sewing it to the fabric. After that, it will create a beautiful ruffle style to the sleeves. The next step is creating the ruffle hem from the remaining piece of the sleeves. I cut out 3 inches of strips and join it together to create a long one. And then I got 6 pieces of strips. I place them right sides together and hold them using pins and sew it after. After that, I hem one edge of the strips by folding it once to the wrong side and sew it with a straight stitch. And you should have something like this. Next is by sewing a loose stitch or a basting stitch in the other edge of the strips. I use different color of thread to easily remove it later. Then create a gathering by pulling one piece of the hanging thread. And make sure not to break the thread during gathering, or else you have to sew it again. Carefully gather the fabric until you reach the end. So you will have something like this. Then the next step is attaching the ruffle to the bottom edge of the dress. Use pins to hold them in place. Make sure that the gathering is evenly divided. Since the ruffle is still open, I sew it closed first. Down to the last step in this tutorial is by sewing the ruffle hem to the dress. Don't forget also to remove the temporary stitches later. And I'm finally done! Here is the before and after. I super love this dress and I feel sexy when wearing this. I guess I can wear this in different type of occasions because it gives me a casual look. I bet you can follow this tutorial immediately because the steps are super duper easy. If you want to follow this one, don't forget to tag me in my Instagram account. I would love to see yours. I hope you like it, and if you do, please give this a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, and on the notification bell so you'll be notified in my upcoming videos. I'll see you next time. Bye!